Lección 1. So, some of the things that were important in this lección, the very first part that we started off talking about were things that are informal versus things that are formal. So, informal, you would be talking to people you know, kids, pets. Oh, I should say people you know your age. Pets, family members. Okay, formal would be people like teachers or principals. That means AP also. Older people. Bosses. People you meet for the first time. That are not your age. Now, sometimes when you do people your own age, and you're meeting them for the first time, sometimes you also use the formal for that too. It just, most of the time, if they're your own age, then you can use the informal. Okay, we also talked about besos. That would be kisses. Okay, a lot of countries, they give you one kiss on the right cheek. Unless you're Spain, and then they do 2 kisses. Okay. And then Bolivia, no kisses. Unless you know each other. But if you're in a business situation, you just shake hands. Now, men to men, most of the time don't do kisses. They do handshakes. Most of the time. Sometimes, it depends. Sometimes they do kisses, but most of the time they just do handshakes. Now, the next part that we dealt with were nouns in Spanish. And we have masculine and feminine. Most of the time, if you're talking about a male figure, the noun is going to be masculine, like hombre. Okay, that means man. And if you're talking about a female, you would have mujer, which means woman. Those would be feminine. Now, if you have a person that ends in OR, we would be masculine. A person that ends in ora would be feminine. Now, esta could be masculine or feminine. You have to look at, that would be an at, who it is. So if it was a person that is female, you would put la turista. If you saw a man and he was a tourist, you would put el turista. Okay, it all depends on whether the person is a female or male. Now, if a non-living item has an O at the end, it's masculine. If it has an A at the end, it's feminine. For the most part, this is 99% of the time. Okay, so this is 99% of the time. Sometimes there are some other weird things, like this one I'm going to say right now. Because words that, like problema, that came from Greece, came from the Greek language, that is actually masculine, even though it ends in an A. Okay? If the word ends in sion, that would be feminine. If the non-plural version ends in an S, like autobús, that is going to be masculine. If it ends in dad, D-A-D, then it's going to be feminine. Now, as I said, this is 99% of the time. How do you tell for sure? Well, we have words like joven. Well, that means young person. You have to look and see. Does it say el joven or does it say la joven? Is it a male young person or a female young person? You look at the article that is sitting in front of it. Same thing with estudiante. Is it el estudiante? Is it a male student or is it a female student? La estudiante. So you just need to really look at the article that's in front of it. Also, here are a couple of exceptions to the rule. La mano. This is feminine. Okay, it means hand. Then we have el mapa, which means map, but it is masculine. It is masculine. Those are two exceptions to the rule. That's why it's very important to learn the articles that go in front of it. Okay. Now, to make something plural in Spanish, if it ends in a vowel, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to hit this button. I will hit this. There we go. Ends in a vowel. Add S. Ends in a consonant. Add ES. Now, for those of you who don't know what a vowel is, A, E, I, O, U. Those are the vowels. Everything else is a consonant. Now, there are a couple of weird things. If the word, why is it making that noise? Ends in a Z, then change the Z to C. So if I have lápiz, and by the way, it's el lápiz, that would change to los lápices. Okay? All we did was change the Z to a C. The next part. If the accent mark is on the last syllable, in the singular, then take it off. For the plural. So if I have la lección, change it to las lecciones. No longer does it have that accent mark. Okay? If I use el autobús, I'm changing it to los autobuses. We take that off. Okay, the other thing we talked about, use the masculine plural form when you refer to a group with at least one male. Okay, so that's it for the plural. Now the next part we're going to talk about are the articles. Okay, so if we're talking about the articles, we have the definite article, which means the, masculine, feminine, singular, plural. Okay? El changes to los, la to las. If I have the indefinite, still again, masculine, feminine, singular, plural. This would be un, this would be unos, this would be una, this would be unas. Okay. Oh, I forgot to say what this means. A and some. Now, there is another word in Spanish that means some, but we won't learn that until, I can't even remember when we learned that, like chapter 7 or 8 or something. So we don't need to learn that right now. Okay, números. Okay, I'm not writing down all of the numbers, but do remember that there is an accent mark on 16, on 22, 23, 26, and I'm going to say 21 sometimes. And I'm going to talk about that sometimes right now. Okay? The number uno. Oops, and numbers ending in uno. Not all words ending in uno, but all numbers ending in uno. Such as 21. Have more than one form. Okay? Okay, if it's before a masculine, notice how I wrote the word before a masculine noun. It changes to un. That is where this right here came from. Okay? If it is before a feminine noun, it changes to una. Okay, so if I have un hombre, or 21 hombres. If I have una mujer, veintiuna mujeres. Now, they do not change for counting. If you're just counting, they don't change, okay? It doesn't change for counting or when it comes after the noun. Okay, so if I'm talking about la lección uno, if I'm talking about I'm on the lesson 1 and we're telling what the lesson is, doesn't change. Okay? The other thing that we talked about in this section is from, I can't spell it correctly, ¿cuántos? Okay? ¿Cuántos? If it comes before a not singular, a masculine noun, it is ¿cuántos? Before a feminine noun, it is cuántas with an AS. It changes to an AS. Also, the word I means there is or there are. So that will do it for the numbers. Now we have ser. Okay. The first thing we talked about here were the pronouns yo, tú, él, ella, usted. This means I. This is you, familiar or informal. This is he, she, and you, formal. These are our subject pronouns. It helps if I spell pronouns right. Then we have nosotros or nosotras, which means we. We have vosotros or vosotras, and that means you. Plural, informal. And then we have ellos, ellas, ustedes. This means they, masculine. This is they, feminine. Masculine just means that there's at least one male in the group. Then we have ustedes, which means you, formal, plural. Now, this one right here, this is used in Spain, but we're going to learn it because it's important that you actually learn that. Now, to conjugate, some people are not understanding the word conjugate. Conjugate means that you're going to change the verb form. If we're going to conjugate ser, the yo form of ser is soy, means I am. It's a sentence. Yo soy is a sentence. Tú eres. You, I love how I didn't capitalize that. You are. Él es. He is. Ella es. She is. Usted es. You are. Nosotros or nosotras somos. We are. Vosotros sois. You are. Ellos son. They are. Ellas son. They are. Ustedes son. You are. Now, sometimes we're not going to be given he, she, and they, or even we. But things like Paula, that's a she. Paula is my mom, but she. So it takes on the same form as this. I don't need to write ella. I need to write her name, but it goes with S. Just like if I have Isabel y yo. The fact that it has yo, that means we. So that means that it is somos. If it has yo and another person, it will always be we, nosotros. If it has two and not yo, oops, I don't want to put that, and another person, that is not formal, then it will be vosotros or ustedes. If it has to and a formal person, like Mr. or Mrs. or ustedes and another person, then, I should have written usted and another person, then it is ustedes. Okay. So, ser. Ser is used with professions or occupations. Okay? If it says, I am a teacher. Yo soy profesora. Notice how this indefinite article is not used. You do not use an indefinite article, and I knew I spelled it wrong. Indefinite article with professions. I totally misspelled that too. Woo. Unless it talks about more description, like a fabulous teacher. Okay. Let's see, what else did we talk about? There is no it for a subject pronoun. If you are talking about one item, use S. 2 items, use son. Let's see, what else? Okay. Ser also identifies people. He is Joel. Él es Joel. Possession. So there's no apostrophe in Spanish. No apostrophe in Spanish. You have to say the, put in the item, they, I should do that in English. of, and then the person. So it's going to either be el, la, los, las, and then the item, they, and then the person. Maru's pencil. Okay, I would say el lápiz de Maru. Okay, and when we're dealing with that, we have to talk about this. De, this is our contraction. De plus el, meaning of the, becomes del. So if I was to say, they are the boys' suitcases. Okay. Son las maletas de the boy. So el chico, but I don't want this right here. Can't have de el. It changes to del. Okay. Also, when we're using ser, we talk about the origin of where somebody is. De donde eres? Where are you from? Soy de, and you write where you're from. Or if you say de donde es Sam, Sam es de wherever you are saying he's from. Okay. And the last thing that we talked about was ser is also used for telling time. There are a couple other things that ser is used for, but mainly these are the ones that they're used for. So, ¿qué hora es? What time is it? So if I'm talking about 1 o'clock, I would say es la una. If I'm talking about 2 to 12, I would say son las, and I'd put in a time. If I'm going to add minutes, and they're from 1 minute to 30 minutes, I would say es la una y, and then put in the minutes. Or son las, and this is the hour, y, and then put in the minutes. Okay? Now, for 15 minutes, cuarto. Or you could use quince, it's okay. If I'm talking 30 minutes, media. Or you could use 30. Now, if we were talking from 31 minutes to 59 minutes, you have to add an hour and subtract minutes. So, if I'm talking 12:31 to 12 12:59, I would say es la una menos, and then the minutes. Okay? All other times, it would be son las, and this is the next hour, and then I would put menos, and then the minutes. So if I said, I was going to say 1:31, I would say son las dos menos, and that would be 29 minutes. 29. Then AM would be de la mañana. PM, and you're doing afternoon. I can't spell today. That would be de la tarde. If I had PM and it's night, it would be de la noche. Noon. That means 12 p.m. Es el mediodía. If you're talking midnight, that's 12 a.m. That was horrible S. Es la media noche. And some of you may ask, why do I have mediodía? Because día is masculine, and media noche because noche is feminine. That is why. If you have something on the dot, that would be in punto. And the last thing is if you're talking about at a certain, can't spell, nope, I had it right the first time. Time. At, I actually want to write it. It is at 2 p.m. Es a las 2 de la tarde. Okay? At is the word a. So you're either going to have S or son, depending on what this says over here. Then, this is the construction. It's going to be a las or a la. And then the time that you've already done. So if I'm going to say the Spanish class, is at 1:15 p.m. I would say la clase de español es a la, because it's 1 o'clock, 1:15 de la tarde. Okay? If I wanted to say, the concerts are at 8 p.m. Okay? Los conciertos. Okay, see how this is plural? That would make that son a las 8 de la noche. Okay, I hope that helped.